What's up, everybody? It's me, Cop, your friendly neighborhood sober streamer, content creator, EDH commentator, CEDH caster, all those wonderful things. And I just finished a game tonight with Bello, Bard of the Brambles, aka Chaos Bello. If you've been following my Twitter, you know that I've been tweeting about this deck a lot. I just posted the primer first thing this morning. And so I wanted to show you all a game of how this deck goes from literally about to lose and die to changing its board state completely and winning the game. So this is what Bello does, or at least this list. It uses chaos and control pieces to sort of lock the opponents out and then break parity by doing combat damage and using polymorph effects underneath those chaos lock pieces to win. So let me paint you a picture. It's turn 6, I have 12 life, and I just finished combat. So I have an Alchemist talent on board, it's at level 2, I have Bello, I have a Berserker's Onslaught, and my attacking creatures have Double Strike. I have this beautiful treasure token and 6 mana. My opponent has a Thantis, so we are all forced to attack every combat, which is why everything is tapped. And I decide that if I don't do something about this, I'm dead. So I decide to tap 6 and play a Chaotic Transformation. So Chaotic Transformation lets us target one artifact, enchantment, creature, planeswalker, and land. For each permanent that we exile, we reveal until we hit one of each type. So I target my Alchemist talent, my Bello, the treasure, and the tapped forest. And I've shortcutted all of this just to make it easier for everybody so we don't have to worry about it. Bello goes to the command zone, this gets exiled, this gets exiled, and what we reveal off the Chaotic Transformation is 6 Reign of Riches, Smuggler's Buggy, and an untapped forest. Smuggler's Buggy has the hideaway trigger, this really doesn't matter. And then, most importantly, the Reign of Riches ETBs and makes us 2 more treasure tokens. So I pass the turn, I have a blocker now with 6, I can't crew this because it's, oh, no, I can crew this. Amazing, oh my god, I just figured something out now! So I pass the turn. My opponent moves to combat and tries to swing at me. I do have a blocker, so it's not completely lethal, but it's really dangerous. And so I spend a treasure and tap my forest to cast a Heroic Intervention. Now, I'm trying to save my 6 here, right? Because I've used 6 to block, I don't want it to die, but also the Heroic Intervention is then going to cascade off the Reign of Riches because I spent treasure to cast the spell, and it's the first time I've done it this turn. So this deck can only hit 2 spells off a Heroic Intervention or any 2-mana instant, and we end up hitting the one I want to hit, which is a Glimpse of Tomorrow. So Glimpse of Tomorrow shuffles all my permanents back into my library, and then we're going to reveal that many cards. We're going to put all non-aura permanents onto the battlefield, and then we're going to do the same for auras, and then we're going to put the rest on the bottom of our library in a random order. So to remind you, we're literally mid-combat, blockers assigned, and I'm going to change this entire board state completely. So, Glimpse of Tomorrow gets rid of everything. Heroic Intervention still on the stack. And this is what we end up getting off of our Glimpse of Tomorrow. A Kodama of the East Tree, Bedlam, a Timesifter, a Disciple of Freyalise, a Sanctum Weaver, and 3 lands. We end up with 3 spells, but they get shuffled back to the bottom of our library in a random order. Unfortunate. So the thing is, still mid-combat, Kodama sees all of these entering, and then my Disciple of Freyalise is going to sacrifice my Kodama of the East Tree. So I'm going to stack all the Kodama triggers on top, and then we're going to have the last one be Disciple and the card draw. With the Kodama triggers, it sees a 6-mana thing entering, so I'm going to put a 6-mana thing in, and that is a God Pharaoh statue, which means spells my opponents cast cost 2 more to cast. And then because it sees a 5-mana thing, we're going to put a Possibility Storm, which is one of the key cards, one of the best cards in the deck. And then with the rest of the triggers, I only have 2 cards left in hand, which are going to be lands. So then we resolve a Heroic Intervention, and unfortunately the 6 is gone, so I end up taking some damage here. I think I go to 8. And this is my board state now. So what's important to note about this is that because of God Pharaoh Statue and Possibility Storm, They have to pay 2 extra to cast a spell, and then they're going to lose it to Possibility Storm, which is then going to find another spell of the same type, but it's going to cost an extra 2 mana to cast that off the Possibility Storm. So we're locking our opponents out by making everything cost 4 more, and they're not even going to get the thing they want to cast. Disciple resolves Kodama. I end up drawing 6 cards, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, and I end up gaining 6 life off the sack. So, huzzah! It passes to my next opponent, and we hit a Timesifter trigger on their upkeep. I reveal a Fiery Emancipation. I will be taking the next turn. He Price of Progresses, tries to deal 2, 4, 6 to me, but I've gained 6, so it ended up net neutral off the Disciple, sacking the Kodama. And then I take my turn. On my extra turn, I reveal a Gilded Lotus. I also take another extra turn because it's the highest mana cost. And so I basically play Bello, swing, next turn, play more spells, swing, and just keep dropping more enchantments because it doesn't really matter what I Possibility Storm out of. I'm going to cast a Descent. I'm going to hit an Arasta. Who cares, right? And so I end up taking 3 extra turns and win the game immediately. So that's the craziness of the deck. It went from almost dying to changing its entire board state and winning off 2 mana. So I love Bello. I never thought I'd play a Chaos deck. The Moxfield, you can find the list on my Moxfield account. I'll put that here. Thank you all for watching this, and please let me know your thoughts in the comments if you have any ideas or reactions or all that stuff. Yeah. Yay! We love our Raccoon friend. Woo!